Okay, we are going to talk TNA tonight. So, for those of you, obviously, that clicked on this video thinking they were going to hear about the WWE, I don't know why, because it actually says TNA Slammiversary in the video title. Well, we're going to talk about Impact Wrestling, and you know, this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, actually. I'm a big fan of TNA. I've been a big fan of TNA since the inception, back in the day that there were $10 weekly pay-per-views filmed from the Nashville Fairgrounds, all the way to the shows on Fox Sports Net, and when they made it to Spike TV at the Impact Zone at Universal Orlando. So yeah, I'm a big fan of TNA, as you can see, I spend money on TNA merchandise. So, my money is not the greatest, so I can't really afford the pay-per-views. I can't afford WWE pay-per-views, to be totally honest. But I do get to see them. But the thing about it is I put money into TNA with the merch I buy. I bought a lot of shirts. Every time I went to the Impact Zone, I bought at least one thing. And I spent a lot of money on merchandise. So I can criticize the company and praise the company because I watch the product. And I watch the product on a regular basis. And as you guys well know, I review it on a regular basis for you guys here on Pop. So given the fact that it's Monday, we are going to talk about last night's Impact Wrestling pay-per-view extravaganza Slammiversary. But before we get started, excuse me, I do want to mention that shut you out a surprise video today. I really did. Very happy that Will was able to come over this evening and shoot us a Will tutorial. Hope you guys have seen that video. If you haven't, go check it out. It's on this Pop playlist. And if you're in the TNA pay-per-view recap playlist, then check out the regular Pop playlist and see that video. Will's talking about the Arkham Origins video game and his thoughts on it. There will be some more Will tutorials in the near future. As a matter of fact, Will should be over later today to film a Will tutorial about how much he really doesn't like Warner Brothers. So yeah, we're gonna get that very soon. And yeah, Mr. Flashback will be gracing us with his presence, I guess. And he will be reviewing Santa with Muscles, as well as, well, there's something else coming after Santa with Muscles, but you're going to have to wait until the end of the Santa with Muscles review to find out what it's going to be. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm not going to let you know what's going to come in the near future. But I will say that you're definitely going to enjoy it. Now, I also want to say that Will has also came to me and he has voiced his opinion on doing something else for this channel. And he wants to do a complete retrospective of the animated series of Batman. Batman, the animated series, all the way to the latest one. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Obviously I'm not a fan. I am a fan, obviously, but I mean, I don't remember exactly what it's called off the top of my head. Like Batman animated shows. We'll go with that. There you go. From Batman the Animated Series all the way talking about The Batman, and which I absolutely hate, and Batman Beyond, which I never got into, and all the way to the Batman and Superman team-up show that exists now, which is, hold on, I'm getting it for you guys, I really am. Where is it? Shh, come on. Come on. Where are you? Where are you? Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. How about you talk TNA? Yeah, there's this Batman Superman show. Obviously, I don't watch it, so he's going to talk about that as well. So there's always that. So we'll be doing that in the near future. And there's going to be a retrospective on the whole Batman animated series. Not just Batman the Animated Series, but all the Batman the Animated Series. And it's probably also going to give way to the first top 10 and even top 20 list here on Pop. So that's going to be coming in the near future. And I think Will's going to be delving into Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So that will be looked into very soon as well. Flashback apparently has got some ideas. He won't tell me though, because he doesn't like to talk to me. He talks through Will, obviously. So Will has told me through Mr. Flashback that there will be some stuff in the near future that's going to be very enjoyable for all you fans out there on Pop. So there's always that. AJ will be joining us very soon. He's going to be talking some retrospectives, long night, of his loud night last night. Sorry, it's really early. Retrospectives of his own on Human Giant and Flight of the Conchords, as well as starting in July, the summer of Tarantino begins. So AJ is going to discuss every single Quentin Tarantino film. Some you have seen, most of you have seen, and some you may not have known that were by the master Quentin Tarantino. So that's coming up in the near future. So we got that. Ben is really, really struggling with SkyDrive right now. So if you guys have any ideas of a program that he can use to shoot his videos from his iPhone and transfer them to a file to be sent to surrowanddisney@gmail.com, my email address, then please get at me and let me know. You can, like I said, tweet me at SirOwenDisney, Facebook me at Owen Disney, or you can contact that very email I just mentioned and put in the subject matter, if you're emailing me, Ben's Quandary or Ben's Problem, or hey, I've got a way to fix this so Ben can send you videos. Ben should be joining us at B-Dubs Tuesday night, schedule permitting, to shoot some videos for the channel, so we'll get that. And like I said, we've got some Will tutorials coming in the future, Mr. Flashback coming in the future. Update on Molly, she's really busy, guys, she really is. So she will be joining us very soon. I don't know exactly when, but you will be getting a get-to-know-you video from her to start everything out, so you can find out a little bit more about her. And I'm hoping, with any luck, to be able to shoot that in the next couple of weeks. And then she'll be getting her own weekly segment here on Pop. So I don't know what it's going to be about yet. I don't know if she even knows what it's going to be about. But she's going to be on this channel sooner rather than later. So there's always that. And there will be a video later this week about Fast Food Boulevard, the Simpsons expansion at World Expo at Universal Orlando, and I want to talk about the different menu items and how I'm so excited to be able to have all of these wonderful, delicious items, food and drink, this September when I go to Universal again for Halloween Horror Nights and for my 8 Parks in One Day Challenge, which I'm going to do a video on very, very soon. But I got to talk to Len in either July or August and formulate an exact touring plan to be able to figure out exactly how I'm going to accomplish this gargantuan feat. But you came here to hear me ramble. You came here to hear about last night's TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view, and we're going to talk about it right now. So it was held in Boston, Massachusetts, and we started it off with Ultimate X, the X Division champion Kenny King defending against the returning Chris Sabin and Suicide. Well, I can't really call him the returning Chris Sabin anymore because he's been back for a little bit, but I can call him the returning Suicide. And this match is pretty good. I will say that tonight, well, last night, was the 11-year anniversary of Total Nonstop Action. And this X Division title Ultimate X match was the 30th Ultimate X match in 11 years of TNA wrestling. So the 2003, the first Ultimate X match, Chris Sabin was in it. And Kenny King competed in the 29th, actually. So he was in the last X Division, which was shot for the X Division Extravaganza one-night-only pay-per-view. So there's always that. Did not get to see it yet. It's on my bucket list. So basically, Kenny King goes up to the top, and Suicide climbs up to face him again. So both men, they climb towards the championship, which is dangling from the middle of the X, as always with Ultimate X. And he eye-rakes Suicide and tries to take off the mask, and Suicide gets knocked off. So Sabin climbs up, and him and King are fighting it, kind of like it's, I'm trying to think what I want to call this. What is the, I'm blanking here. It's the rings, Olympic rings on, American Gladiators. I'm looking at it, hold on. I remember what it's called. It's probably something really simple. Where's American Gladiators? Come on. American Gladiators. There you go. List of American Gladiators events. This is what I do for you guys, folks. I believe it's called Hang Tough. Let's see. Let's see if it's Hang Tough. Yeah, it is. Exactly what Ultimate X reminds me of. It reminds me of Hang Tough because they're going arm in arm. But sometimes they straddle the ropes upside down and try to get to the belt that way. But basically, they fought up there. Sabin and King were fighting, and at some point, Sabin got busted open, and he was like color was coming from him profusely. Sabin knocks him off and grabs the X Division Championship, and I go 0-1 in predictions for the evening. I don't have a problem with this because I don't like Chris Sabin winning the championship. Now what you do is you take away this X Division title has to be defended in three-way dance rule and make some singles matches in the near future with Chris Sabin defending the X Division Championship. Now after this, not to be outdone, Hulk Hogan comes down and basically says what I've been thinking he was going to say for a long time. He says that sometime this summer, there will be a Destination X event. I don't know if that means that it's going to be I know it's not a one night only that I'm aware of, and it's not a pay-per-view, obviously. So maybe a Destination X version of Impact is the only thing I can think of. And it's going to be the thing that happened with Austin Aries last year, where he won the X Division Championship, turned the X Division Championship in for a TNA World Heavyweight title shot, which Aries was successful as he defeated Bobby Roode. Well, Chris Sabin is going to become the second man to do just that, and we don't know if he will or not, but Sabin will be challenging for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship if he so chooses to give up the X Division Championship. And given the fact that when Sabin returned to the company, he said he wants the World Heavyweight title, it's a pretty good bet that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't have a problem with that. So he shakes hands with Sabin, and basically Sabin walks away, and Hogan comes out, and he says, "It's time for Aces and Eights business, Hulk Hogan business, brother." And right before he gets ready to talk, Mr. Anderson leads out Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe. So the Aces and Eights are pretty much looking to steal the show tonight. So he says, I love this line, by the way, it's funny. It's funny to hear Hulk Hogan say this of all places. So Hogan goes, "Boston isn't afraid of ghosts, and we sure as hell ain't afraid of no terrorists." And he furthermore says, I'm quoting here, "We're not afraid of pussies in leather, brother." And I was like, good God. So I laughed out loud when I heard Hogan say that. And he says he's gonna bitch slap Garrett Bischoff, and he says, "You and your old man are bitches. But it doesn't matter because I got 3 guys that are coming out to the back that are going to take care of you once and for all tonight. Samoa Joe, Magnus, and the charismatic Enigma, Jeff Hardy." Or as Hogan called him, the enigmatic Enigma. Yeah, okay. So, we get our 6-man tag, and that's our next match of the evening. And it's Aces and Eights members, Mr. Anderson, Garrett Bischoff, and Wes Briscoe taking on Samoa Joe, Magnus, and Jeff Hardy. First off, notice 2 things right off the top. Doc was not in this match, and he was announced to be in this match on Impact. Don't know why there was a change. I guess the fact that there needed to be one... I hate to use this terminology, but I'm guessing I'm going to use what TNA would look at it as. There needs to be one main eventer to take on Jeff Hardy in the match, given the fact that Garrett and Wes are mid-carders at best. Joe and Magnus, they're upper mid-carders, but, I mean, Doc, as much as I love Gallows, I think he's awesome. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in TNA, even long after Aces and Eights is over. He did not need to be the third man, according to TNA, which I think was a bad idea, to be totally honest. I would have taken Wes Briscoe out, because obviously I'm not a big fan of Wes Briscoe. But Wes and Garrett are the team, so it makes sense. And I think they'll go after the tag team champions, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So, first thing I noticed is Magnus went to AJ Styles' gear maker and says, "Design me the same gear, the same long trunks you're wearing, except I want them to be my Magnus colors and have the M on it and the Victory logo." And that's exactly what he did. We had long tights, like very British Invasion meets AJ Styles tights. And then when Jeff Hardy comes out, I'm not gonna lie, Hardy came off looking like Punk tonight. I hate to say that, but he had the long beard and the facial hair, and he still had the long hair, but he had this weird facial hair. I just don't know why it was there. So we go midway through the match. As always, Garrett gets hit with a twist of fate, and Wes gets a whip and catches the back elbow, does Briscoe, and he gets nailed with Whisper in the win for the 2 count. So Joe tosses Mr. Anderson outside of the ring onto the ramp and hits the twist of fate on Wes Briscoe yet again, and then hits it one more time for good measure. He goes up top, takes off the shirt to the pop of the adoring female fans around ringside and throughout the building, and he goes for the swanton, but Garrett cuts him off before he's able to dive, and he taunts Joe. Joe ends up nailing the back avalanche and then the leaping back kick. Snapmare, and Magnus comes off with the elbow drop, the old tag team finish. And at this point, Joe ends up going to the outside to fight with Mr. Anderson. He locks the coquina clutch on Mr. Anderson, trying to choke him out on the ring apron. Meanwhile, Magnus gets low blowed, and there's a pin attempt, but he kicks out. Hardy hits the Swanton while this is being done, and he pins Wes Briscoe. So, big match. Big win for Team TNA. So, I don't like using the word team, and I don't know why I did there. TNA wins over Aces and Eights, and it's pretty good because Aces and Eights didn't really have the greatest of nights, or did they? We'll talk about that in a minute. So we see JB backstage. He's with Joseph Park, and Joseph Park says this is maybe the 11th year anniversary of Total Nonstop Action as a company, but it's his 1-year anniversary, and what a wild ride it's been for Joseph Park, the in-ring competitor. Tonight is the chance he can capture gold for the first time. Says, Devon, you talk about this as family business? Well, this is family business. Of all the torment you put me and my brother Abyss through, obviously you're going down tonight. So at this point, Devon and Nux jump Joseph Park, and they beat him like a dog, they throw him into the wall, and they bloody him, and they pretty much leave him laying. So you pretty much know right there that Abyss is going to end up taking Joseph Park's place. Yeah, it's no doubt in my mind it's going to happen. So the next match is the match that really didn't have anything going for it at all. It was the Gut Check Challenger for the Bound for Glory series. And the winner of this, okay, there was a 4-way tournament, a 4-man tournament, that ended up being Jay Bradley beating Christian York. And Sam Shaw actually won over Alex Silva because Aces and Eights left him laying. So this was Bradley versus Shaw. And, of course, Shaw got laid out by Wes Briscoe on Impact a couple weeks ago. So we got to finally get this match and determine who from the Gut Check series is going to be going to the Bound for Glory series. And it's actually the first person officially announced for the Bound for Glory series. So Shaw comes out and gets absolutely no reaction from the crowd. That's good. So, at one point, Bradley goes for the belly-to-back suplex and drops into a backbreaker. Very Roderick Strong-style offense right there. So, and Shaw hits a standing Luthez press, which I don't see very often. Not off the ropes, just literally a standing one. A charging drop kick, and he goes for the 3.0, the Mike Sanders backbreaker, the one that Randy Orton stole. And he goes for a reverse neck breaker. He gets reversed when Bradley thumbs him in the eyes. He readies the boomstick and nails the lariat for the 3. Yeah. After the match, Christy Hemme is with Jay Bradley, and Bradley basically says he is going to be the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Yeah. I have a better chance right now than $10,000 showing up on my doorstep at this very moment. No doorbell? Either way, there's no chance for either one of those to happen. So there you go. So we get our next segment backstage, JB with the Dirty Heels, and basically it is mentioned once again that Austin Aries and Bobby Roode are not a tag team of people going for the tag team champions. They are a team of world champions. And pretty much says, Gunner, you're no Bobby Roode. So that's the end of that. So we get our television title match. Joseph Park taking on the current and reigning TNA television champion, Devon. So, Devon comes out with Nux, and he's like, where is Joseph Park? You know what? Apparently he's fallen and he can't get up. So he's like, okay, I want you to count to 10. And after you count to 10, I want you to raise my hand as the victor of this match. Declare me the winner. So they do that. Reaches 10. And Devon wins via countout. So, okay. Devon goes, you know, he basically just buried himself and said, just what I thought. Now, I would call out Abyss right now, but he's too much of a coward to show up. And you know, if he was right here, right this very moment, I would take him down and I would beat him like a dog right here in front of everyone. Yep. What do you think happens? Abyss's music hits. And here he comes. So he comes to the ring and he double clothesline on both Nux and Devon, and he clotheslines Nux, and then he clotheslines Devon, clotheslines Nux over the top rope, And I was thinking at this point that we were going to get Abyss as the Ultimate Warrior and Devon as the Honky Tonk Man, but it actually went a little longer than that. So it wasn't a total squash on Devon. And that's fine. It was a competitive match, or so it seems. Devon did a diving forearm, the flying style, off the ropes, and choked Abyss on the middle rope. Chokes him in the corner. There's a charge, and a clothesline drops Abyss. So he hits a falling headbutt, gets a 2 count off of it. Drops a leaping leg drop, and then he mocks Hogan. At this point, he goes to the middle turnbuckle for the headbutt, and he Abyss out of the way. So it's a clothesline, an avalanche in the corner, and Nux gets on the ring apron, and Abyss knocks him off. So he chokeslams Devon, and Devon stands up and flips him off, and he gets black hole slammed. And a 1, 2, 3. We have a brand new TNA television champion. Devon's reign since December 6, 2012 is now over. Aces and Eights are 0-2 against TNA right now. Gee, that makes me think immediately that there's no way they're losing all 3 matches tonight. Or are they? So Dixie Carter comes out and she makes an official announcement of the second inductee in the TNA Hall of Fame. And even though this answer should be Jeff Jarrett, for obvious reasons, it's the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. So Angle comes out after the whole roster comes out, and it's really nice because you actually see Velvet with Chris Sabin on camera, which does not happen very often at all. And basically, Kurt Angle was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he will be inducted to the Hall of Fame at Bound for Glory this year. October 20th is the date of Bound for Glory in San Diego. So, Angle thanks everyone, thanks the fans, thanks Dixie and Surge, even thanks Jeff Jarrett, which is really interesting considering the fact that Jeff Jarrett is the reason he doesn't have a wife anymore. But that's another story altogether. So, no offense to Jeff Jarrett, but I mean, things happen, I guess. That's how Chris Benoit and Nancy Sullivan ended up getting together with the storyline with Benoit and Kevin Sullivan in WCW. But since I now mentioned Chris Benoit, I have to obviously get changing the subject as soon as humanly possible, because I think you guys probably just hit off on this video because I just mentioned Benoit's name. Anyway, so he thanks the fans, he thanks his family, every single one of them, thanks Dixie Carter, and even puts over AJ, and he puts over Samoa Joe, and he puts over Jeff Hardy, and he puts over everyone that has gone toe-to-toe with him in the ring and the entire locker room of TNA. Dixie Carter's the reason why he loved wrestling again. So, really enjoyable segment for Kurt Angle, and we look for him to be a very worthy inductee in the TNA Hall of Fame, even though I still think this should have been Jeff Jarrett. If Jeff Jarrett's the 3rd inductee in the Hall of Fame, I don't have a problem with this. But if Jeff Jarrett's not, then we have a problem. So we get JB backstage with my favorite tag team, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, the Bad Influence. And basically, Daniels says they made these tag team titles valuable again. They made 2 former world champions have to team up because it was so valuable. They made someone join the company, a 3rd-generation wrestler, to team with a Mexican strongman because the titles were so valuable. And he made the Cowboys and the Vikings get along because the titles were more valuable. But the fact remains, at the end of the day, Bad Influence are going to retain their World Tag Team Championships of the world. And after that, then you will have the permission to worship them now. That is our next match of the evening. It is a 4 corners, 4-way dance, elimination rules, a legitimate ECW-style 4-way dance between the Dirty Heels, Bad Influence, the team of Cowboy James Storm and Gunner, and the current TNA World Tag Team Champions, Shawn Hernandez, Supermax, and Chavo Guerrero Jr. So, immediately before, when they come out, when the music starts, the fans start booing Chavo and Hernandez. I think they're getting tired of them. So, yeah, that team may split sooner rather than later. But anyway, at one point in the match, he picks up both Kaz and Daniels and hits the double Colt 45 on them. The Dirty Heels dump them out to the floor, and then they get whipped into each other, and Bad Influence nail from behind and double chokes in the corner. But Chavo and Hernandez get the Duke with Double Air Mexico. and they get back in charge. So, at this point, Daniels throws Hernandez out to the floor. Kaz rolls back in, tag in, leaping elbow, gets a 2 count off of it. So he face rakes Bobby Roode, stomp Hernandez down in the corner, a snapmare into a somersault neck snap, and a European uppercut off the top for 2 from the Dirty Heels. Nice tag team continuity from them. Double suplex is blocked and reversed, and Aries and Roode gets double suplexed by Hernandez. So tagging to Kazarian, tagging to Chavo, both legal men are in. There's a Tilt-A-Whirl backbreaker by Chavo, and he nails a cannonball in the corner, gets a 2 count out of it. Kaz with a sit-out jawbreaker, and Daniels clotheslines his partner accidentally, so Chavo hits 3 amigos, and the second he gets up, Daniels slides in, nails Angel's wings, and Daniels gets clotheslined. There's a lung blower on Bobby Roode by James Storm. Daniels comes in to nail Storm in the back of the leg with the tag team title belt, and a rolling elbow in this case, from Austin Aries on Gunner. Kaz drop kicks Hernandez, and basically nails Storm with the tag belt after that. Sorry, long day. I don't know why I read that. I read it wrong. Kaz nails... So, okay, let's go back, shall we? Okay. So, Kaz drop kicks Hernandez, and he ends up getting border tossed off the top rope. But when the pin is attempted, they're not the legal man. Frog splash, still not the legal man. So Daniels nails Chavo with the belts right in front of the referee and gets disqualified. What the hell? Really? Bad influence, the first team out in this match. The team that should have won this match. Their time's coming sooner rather than later. Hopefully that means that they'll eventually put Daniels towards the World Heavyweight Championship again. I hope so. Once we get a World Heavyweight Champion that's a babyface again. So, like I said, I think Daniels really needs to win the World Heavyweight Championship once in his career. But, so Aries stacks up Chavo from behind and gets the pin out of it and eliminates the champion. So we're going to have new tag team champions regardless. It's down to Gunner and Storm against the Dirty Heels. So, a half Nelson backbreaker, more Roderick Strong offense on Austin Aries, and a face rake, a double whip, the clothesline. Bobby Roode tags in James Storm, and Storm tosses Aries out, hits the high back body drop, and hits that neck breaker off the ropes. Nails Randy Orton's snakebite DDT, and gets a 2 count off of it. No, not this time. He actually just tags in Gunner. So he hits a catapult into a DDT, American AMW type maneuver, long day. So Bobby Roode makes the save just in the nick of time, tosses James Storm to the floor, and Roode hits the perfect plex, and reversed. The gun rack is locked up, and Aries drops the old Shawn Michaels finish, the teardrop suplex, on Gunner, which basically picks him up in an atomic drop, but drops the knee onto the knee, and then the side suplex, the old Shawn Michaels teardrop suplex. And Storm, well, actually, no, Gunner's in the corner, and Aries is whipped in with the IED, the dropkick in the corner, and the double R spine buster. Aries goes up top for the 450, and 1, 2, and he kicks out. So Storm comes in, hits closing time on Aries, last calls Aries into the gun rack from Gunner, and Aries has to give it up. We got brand new TNA World Tag Team Champions in Cowboy James Storm and Gunner. Good match. Really good match from these 4 competitors. 4 tag teams. I don't understand why Bad Influence was eliminated first, and Chavo Hernandez went second, so it's fine. It came down to the Dirty Heels against Storm and Gunner, and that's fine. I don't know where this goes next. There's going to be a rematch, obviously, on Impact, somewhere down the road. I don't think Storm and Gunner are going to make it to Bound for Glory as tag team champions, but I think the titles are going to switch hands a couple times between now and then. But then we'll get to the match that kind of stole the show tonight. Or last night, in this case. Sorry, it's really early in the morning. I'm very tired. So, last knockout standing. Now, we've seen a lot of women's matches on Raw, SmackDown, Impact, NXT. And sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not so good. Sometimes they're absolutely horrid. And then sometimes there's something like this. Well, Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell have been fighting on and off since TNA was at the Impact Zone. Back when Taryn Terrell was a referee. As a matter of fact, Taryn attacking Gail Kim after being provoked so many times is the reason she got fired from her referee position, and Brooke Hogan, as the leader of the president of the Knockouts, I guess in this case, the person in charge of the division, basically made her a in-ring competitor because of this, giving her a chance to go one-on-one with Gail Kim, and she beat her in her first match. So this has been going back and forth. Gail Kim has been kind of a steamroller in the division lately. She's been going after every single person, both babyface and heel, with that ring post figure 4, and eventually she ended up doing it to Taryn Terrell as well. But we ended up having this match, which you hear last Knockout Standing, and you don't know what you're going to get from this. But let me reassure you, guys and girls out there, this needs to be tracked down. As a matter of fact, this is the best women's match I've seen on television in a long time. This was good. It was a lot better than any right being, and this proves how great Gail Kim really is. And it also proves how advanced Taryn Terrell has become. I mean, this match was damn good. So, a chair is introduced into the match, and immediately you're thinking, how's this gonna work? So, she picks up the chair, and Taryn's on the top rope. She comes off, and Gail's got the chair, and she cross-bodies the chair off the top rope into Gail. So, both women are down. So she sets the chair up in the corner. I like to call this setting up your own demise. And she goes for the whip, and Taryn puts on the brakes, and Gail ends up locking on the ring post figure 4, but Taryn makes it up to her feet at 8. She kind of struggles to her feet, obviously, because the knees were weakened because of the ring post figure 4. So Gail charges when she gets up, but she crashes into the very chair she just set up and knocked to the arena floor. But Gail somehow doesn't get up this time because Taryn drags her in and locks her in the ring post figure 4, putting on more pressure. Gail Kim, the veteran, gets up at 8. So, I see this spot set up, and they're on the ramp. Taryn is in the ring, and Gail's on the ramp. So I think what's going to happen is, remember the Edge Mick Foley match at WrestleMania? When Edge speared Foley through the rope, through the ropes, through the flaming table, which was awesome, by the way. They set this up. No table involved, but this is a knockouts match. Think about that for this second. So, Gail's struggling up to her feet. Taryn charges, goes for the spear, and Gail's out of the way. Taryn crashes to the ramp. So, somehow, Taryn makes it up at 9. Well, Taryn goes for the charge again. Gail scouts it, sweeps the leg, and she nails the back of her neck on the ramp, but she gets up at 9 again. So Gail goes for a pile driver, and this is when things start getting fun. So the pile driver's blocked, and Gail is grabbed in a cravat, and Taryn doesn't stunner her. She doesn't just, like, I mean, there's so many things. She doesn't just drop her on the ramp. Oh no, not at all. She grabs her and gives her a running ace crusher off the freaking ramp to the floor. Oh my god. Holy shite chant abound the entire arena. And the entire internet just went insane when it happened. So, both women are down, and ODB is getting to 10, and Taryn gets up about 8, 8.5 or so. She uses the steps to get up, and she gets up right at 10 and wins the match. Last knockout standing, indeed. This match was phenomenal, and it was one of the best matches on the card. And I'll say right now, TNA, as a company, throughout the entire duration of the company, the Knockouts matches have been just as good, if not better, than some of the regular matches you see. I'd put this Knockout match up against a lot of things. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty positive this Knockout match that happened last night at Slammiversary is going to be 10 million times better than anything the WWE is going to throw out Monday or Friday night. Bar none. Guaranteed. I mean, we could get, if we had Natty against Sarah Del Rey in like a 20-minute Iron Woman match. Yeah, that would definitely compete. But no, we're not getting that. We're probably just going to get Caitlyn, and maybe Caitlyn finally losing the Divas Championship to AJ, and I think that'll happen sooner rather than later. But like I said, I think they're waiting to Payback to make that official announcement. I think they'll announce on Raw tonight that the match will be made for Payback. I think that's exactly what's going to end up happening. But we'll talk about WWE later tonight. Actually, tomorrow morning, to be totally honest, since it's Monday now. So, we get our semi-main event of the evening, which is the phenomenal AJ Styles taking on the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. No stipulation, nothing. This match is just two men that absolutely despise each other going at it. And obviously, Angle is sporting the wrap on his leg from the hammer attack that AJ used on Impact when everyone thought he was going to join Aces and Eights. And obviously, he's out by himself. He has brand new music. He's got a shirt that says No One. He's wearing all black, like black and white, basically. This music sounds a lot like the Aces and Eights theme, so I'm guessing that Serge has something to do with it. Serge Salinas, Dixie Carter's husband. I might be wrong on that, but still. It sounds very like the Aces and Eights theme. And it's very like... This isn't the AJ Styles that... former world champion, former X Division champion, former tag team champion. This is not AJ Styles. This isn't the AJ Styles, the team with the Amazing Red. This isn't the AJ Styles, the team with Christopher Daniels. This isn't that AJ Styles anymore. This is Emo Styles. And Emo Styles is a lot more ground-based. But then again, this match was showcasing a lot of his former styling. Pun not intended. Basically, his style was a lot more aerialistic, and this match was a lot more grounded than usual. And obviously, it was leaning towards that calf killer submission versus Angle's ankle lock submission. So it's basically a submission match, which I think is probably what we're going to end up getting somewhere down the road. So, AJ maneuvers Angle into the calf killer, and Angle gets the ropes. So there's a drop kick by AJ, and he locks on a half Boston Crab, in Boston, mind you, on Angle. Gets reversed into an ankle lock, but this time AJ gets the ropes, so we get a break. So Angle hits a huge clothesline, spins AJ like a top, and two clotheslines, and an overhead release, belly-to-belly suplex, gets a 2 count out of it. So he goes for the Angle slam, he gets arm dragged out of it, and Angle hits an exploder suplex for a 2, goes for the ankle lock again, AJ kicks him off, and hits a spine buster, and a springboard middle rope moonsault, but still Angle kicks out at 2. So Angle goes for the rolling German, and connects with the third one with a release, and goes for the pin, but still only gets a 2. So AJ goes to the ramp, and he neck snaps Angle on the top rope, and sends him down to the canvas. Well, he hits a slingshot senton. That's exactly what it was. He literally slingshot over and hit a senton bomb for a 2 count. German suplex. So he goes up top, and I'm going to guess he's going for the spiral tap. And Angle charges up like he always does, springs off, grabs him, waistlock, German's off the top. AJ lands on his feet, mind you. And this was awesome, by the way. He lands on his feet, so he gets another overhead belly-to-belly suplex, this time in the corner for Kurt Angle, and AJ ends up hitting with the spinning back kick and the Aja Kong spinning back fist, and finally lays him out with the discus clothesline, and goes for the Angle slam again. AJ lands on his feet again. Angle slam connects for only a 2. AJ kicks out, drops the straps, you know it's party time. So he goes for the ankle lock, Angle gets flipped, knocked into the middle turnbuckle, and AJ maneuvers into the calf killer, but he gets rolled out, back into the ankle lock submission, and he drags him in the middle ropes, he grapevines the leg, and somehow AJ manages to kick out of it with well-placed hammer kicks to the arm, trying to break the grip. So he charges, does Kurt Angle, and he catches his shoulder into the ring post, and he gets tied up to the Tree of Woe. AJ charges at the leaping drop kick into the corner, and backbreaker, goes for the springboard 450. He misses. He gets rolled up. Angle slam connects, and this time AJ gets double-legged, and he stacks him up and pins him out of it. So basically the finishing sequence was like this. So missed the 450 off the springboard, and the Angle slam gets reversed into a tip-up into a sunset flip, and that doesn't go anywhere because Angle uses his strength and pins AJ's shoulders to the canvas for the 3. Good match. Really good match between these two superstars. A lot different from anything else we've ever seen between Kurt Angle and AJ Styles. Very enjoyable match. I very much enjoyed. I enjoyed Slammiversary overall. So, we get to our main event. And this is No Holds Barred. And I'm going to say that someone in TNA, actually I know for a fact someone in TNA listened to the open book this week. Because when Sean brought up that No Holds Barred literally meant back in the day, there were some holds that were literally barred. It's not a garbage match, it's not a hardcore match. This is literally, some holds are barred, some holds are illegal in this match. Bully Ray brought that up in a promo. So, he basically told Sting that there was a move that was so vicious that wrestlers had to have it barred. They didn't want it involved in the match. And that was the pile driver. And, you know, WWE does not use pile drivers either. I mean, The Undertaker obviously still tombstones people, but you don't see The Undertaker on television very often. And even though Gail Kim went for a pile driver earlier on in the last Knockout Standing match, obviously she did not connect. So this was built up to be the reason that this match ends careers. As a matter of fact, and this was even mentioned during this, Taz brought up the fact that a pile driver nearly ended his career, and he's never been the same again. Now, this match was in ECW. I believe it was in 1994. It was Taz and Eddie Guerrero taking on Too Cold Scorpio and Dean Malenko. And after the match was over, Malenko and Scorpio hit a spike pile driver on Taz, and his neck has never been the same since. Yeah. That's history, folks. And I love the fact that Taz brought that up. And I also love the fact that Taz was very unheelish on commentary tonight. As a matter of fact, he even said, I'm in Aces and Eights, and all that being aside, I'm happy for Kurt. I've been in the ring with him numerous times. He's a friend, and I'm happy for him getting in the Hall of Fame. So kudos to Taz for knowing the difference to when to speak and when not to speak. When to be a heel and when not to be a heel. So, match starts, and he takes the championship, does Sting, and he literally whips Bully Ray like a government mule with it. Over and over and over again. Now, there's a toss to the floor, and Bully Ray hits a clothesline while Sting is getting ready to Stinger Splash him against the guardrail. So, Bully, comes out and bam, nails the clothesline. Grabs the championship belt and whips Sting with it. Turnabout is fair play, after all. So, he hits two vicious chops after he tears the shirt that Sting is wearing, revealing his singlet, obviously. And he viciously chops him right in the chest. So, he whips Sting into the steps and nails a short arm clothesline. So he runs to the back and he grabs a steel chair. I don't know why he grabbed a chair. I guess it was because the chairs were all used under the ring, and when he went under the ring to try to find a chair, he couldn't find one. So, he misses Sting, who was against the ring post, and he hits the ring post with the chair, and Sting nails the chair over the back of Bully twice, and Bully crawls up the steps on the ramp, and he gets that third shot on the ramp, and then a fourth shot, and at that point, Sting has the chair. It looks like he might try to finish Bully Ray off. Brooke Hogan comes out. And Brooke Hogan basically is kind of like telling Sting not to do it, and Sting just says, get out of the way. You're messing up my style. And basically, this allows for Brooke to go to the back. This is obviously setting up the thing I've been talking about for a while. The thing that the Trey Dog first mentioned on the SNS Radio Network about the fact that the writing is on the wall that Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan are the TNA version of the McMahon-Helmsley era. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what we're leading towards. But that's fine. I think Brooke is going to turn heel on and join her husband in the ring sooner rather than later. I thought it might happen tonight, but it doesn't. So there's a whole different way to get to the finish tonight. So basically, he hits Bully Ray again with a chair right in front of Brooke, and then Brooke finally gets muscled to the back, and Sting was like, no, just go away. So this allows Bully Ray to regain composure momentarily to low blow Sting. Picks up the chair and nails Sting over the back with it. And he hits him so many times with the chair, Sting is literally over the ropes, like dangled over it, and Bully just winds up and bam, nails him with the chair, knocking him back into the ring. So Sting has picked up the chair, and Bully Ray big boots it into his face, and he locks up the pile driver, and he nails it. 1, 2, and Sting kicks out. So he goes out to the ring, and to the fans' delight, he gets a table. So he sets the table up in the corner, and Sting with a clothesline, goes to the 10 punch in the corner, But it's broken up at the 8 count when Bully Ray picks him up and release power bombs him through the table and goes for the pin, and Sting kicks out right at 3. So this match was almost over. This was a lot of really good intensity between this false finish. So Bully breaks out a switchblade. And no, this isn't a Tank Abbott match from WCW in 2000. Oh no. He's using the switchblade so he could cut the ropes that hold the ring apron. For those of you out there who, I don't know how you that would know this, but obviously the ring apron is tied down by rope and it's tied around the outside of the ring. And Bully was cutting that off so he could expose the wooden planks, the wooden platforms in the ring. He pulled the canvas off and he exposed the ring, and the fans are just chanting ECW at the top of their lungs. So, basically, Sting goes to the Stinger Splash, and he misses and hits the corner. So Bully locks up the pile driver on the bare wood, mind you, and drives it in. And Sting again kicks out. So he goes to the pile driver one more time. Sting back body drops him. So Sting goes for the pile driver. That's something you definitely don't see. I mean, Hogan using a power bomb in WCW in like 99, 2000, I understood that. Sting using a pile driver, not something that normally happens, unless it's a tombstone pile driver, and that's another story altogether. Check those matches with Ravishing Rick Rude back in the day for the U.S. Championship, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Including the match in Japan where Sting ended Rude's career accidentally. But basically, he goes for it again. This time, Bully Ray back body drops Sting, and Bully goes to the middle turnbuckle, flies off with a senton backsplash. Sting moves out of the way. So he nails the Scorpion Death Drop on the bare wood, mind you, and Garrett Bischoff slides in, rakes the eyes, and the Aces and Eights all beat down Sting. So Doc, Nux, Wes, Garrett, they're all there, they're all beating up Sting, and Sting, one by one, low blows every single one of them. And Doc was about to attack, and he kicks Doc in the nuts, throws him out of the ring. So he throws Garrett over the top rope and onto the ramp, and Garrett takes a hell of a bump. So Devon comes in, tosses in the chain. Bully doesn't catch it, that Sting does. Sting nails Bully Ray with a chain, and Bully Ray is about ready to be pinned, and Hebner's pulled out at 3. So at this point, Sting slides under the ring, nails Devon, gets back in the ring. Mr. Anderson jumps over the barricade, unbeknownst to everyone. He has the hammer. He slips the hammer into Bully Ray as Sting climbs the top rope to finish off Bully Ray. I'm guessing he's going up for the flying body press. So he goes up top, he dives off. Unbeknownst to him, Bully Ray has the hammer clutched in his hands, and when Sting comes off, Bully Ray just BAM! Right in the forehead. Knocks Sting cold, covers him, and then 1, 2, 3. Bully Ray wins in a rather schmozzy finish, but it works because it's Aces and Eights. So Sting can never challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship again. The Aces and Eights stand tall, they all hug, they all raise each other's hands, and we fade to black. Okay, what did we learn today, children? Okay, Chris Sabin's back. He's back with a vengeance. I really want to see Sabin and Kenny King in a singles match. I want to see more singles matches from the new X Division champion. More title defenses that are not three-way dances. Three-way dances are fine, but there tends to be a little bit of overkill. Kenny King back to the drawing board, and Chris Sabin has a decision to make. If he can be he can be the TNA X Division champion when Hulk Hogan announces Destination X. He can change that championship in, trade it in for a World Heavyweight title match, which is what he wanted, which is what he said he wanted when he came back to the company. So, when he came back from his horrific injury, he was out for 2.5 years. So, basically, Sabin's got a decision to make. Does he want to give up the X Division championship he just won for a guaranteed World Heavyweight championship shot, or does he just want to lead the X Division? So I think the X Division is going to have a new champion sooner rather than later, because Sabin is probably going to give that title up to face Bully Ray sometime this summer. And I don't have a problem with that. Sabin and Bully Ray had great matches when it was the Motor City Machine Guns against 3D, and I really like to see them in singles matches, and I think that's exactly what we're going to get. So, Jeff Hardy, facial hair, looking like homeless vagrant or CM Punk, depending on how you look at it. It doesn't work for me. Shave it now. Magnus has Lude long trunks. Interesting. Joe is still kicking behind and taking names like he always does. I know why Anderson's in the match, to give it a little more star power for the Aces and Eights side. Now that we have tag team champions that are baby faces, I think Wes and Garrett are going to go after Storm and Gunner. I think that's exactly what's going to end up happening. Joseph Park, I don't know if we've seen the last of him or not. I don't know if he's going to portray both characters, Joseph Park and Abyss, but Abyss is now the new World Television Champion, thus ending the title reign of Devon that's been in effect since December 6, 2012. The reason I know that off the top of my head is I was there that night. So, basically, we knew that was going to happen, so why were we even surprised? Jay Bradley wins the gut check 4-man challenge to determine the first competitor in the Bound for Glory series. I don't see him lasting very long. He's probably going to have a really bad score. So Kurt Angle is going to be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame and Bound for Glory. I don't have a problem with that, but I still think Jeff Jarrett should have been the second person, honestly. Tag team title match was awesome. Fans not liking Chavo and Hernandez, at least not in Boston, so might want to think about doing something with that team somewhere down the road, like freshen them up a bit. Dirty Heels are still a phenomenal team. Bad Influence, still one of the best tag teams in the wrestling business today. And Storm and Gunner worked really well as a team, so this match actually delivered on all bases. Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell put on a match better than any women's match I've seen in a long time. Now, I haven't had a chance to watch any Shimmer or any stuff from Japan or Mexico, but I mean, honestly, this is some of the best women's wrestling I've seen in a long time. And granted, it took a stipulation like a last woman standing match, last knockout standing match to be phenomenal, but it was great. I really enjoyed it. Gail and Taryn put on a heck of a contest, and this is going to probably set up the fact that Gail Kim, somewhere down the road, may just have to turn babyface, given the fact that Mickie James is about to turn heel. So I think we're going to get a Mickie James heel, Gail Kim babyface match sometime before the year is over. And again, I don't have a problem with that. So, AJ and Kurt Angle put on a wrestling clinic, and not really, it was high spot, not so heavy. I mean, it was good. It was a really good match overall. It was a good story, utilizing the calf killer versus the ankle lock, and the two ways to reverse and counter out of it. And a really good match with the right person going over. I don't have a problem with this, and this gives more questions to AJ. Did he come back too early? Is he still that good? Is he still phenomenal? More questions to be answered from AJ Styles, and maybe Emo Styles will go far, far away, shave off the facial growth, and come back and become the man, the savior that TNA has needed since day one. Sting and Bully Ray had a good old-school style hardcore match. Really good utilization of the no-holds-barred stipulation. Aces and Eights overbooking, I don't have a problem with it this time because it worked really well. It took the entire Aces and Eights to put Sting down, and not even a unprotected pile on the wooden boards, which covered steel, obviously. Wooden boards was enough to put Sting away. So it took the entire Aces and Eights to put Sting away. So there's no shame for Sting losing tonight. And Bully Ray is headed towards Bound for Glory, brother. But I don't know. It's Hogan and Bully at Bound for Glory. I mean, I've heard a lot of rumors about it. And, if Hogan wins the TNA World Heavyweight Championship and they give the championship to Hogan retires with the championship, and then, or Aces and Eights just kill him, and not legitimately kill him, but I mean, like, destroy him and make him unable to ever wrestle again, then maybe, just maybe, we can have another tournament to start a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion and completely get rid of the Hogan thing. And it was just done for storyline perspective. And if that's the case, I don't have a problem with it. But Bully Ray continues to be the best heel in the business. As a matter of fact, if you put Bully Ray and Paul Heyman together on the same show, you'd have nuclear heat that probably could, well, power a small city at this point. So yeah, that's how nuclear it really is. So overall, if you missed Slammiversary, check it out. I don't know if you're going to watch it. It should be posted on letmewatchthis.ch sometime today. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, you can read like the recaps on Wrestling News Source or 411 Mania, or basically you can hear some of the podcasts that were done. SNS Radio Network did a Slammiversary podcast with the Bronx Father and L Train, so you check that out. And I'm sure Crowley's got some things to say when he comes back, because he was there in attendance, and I saw you numerous times, Crowley. So there's always that. So props to Ashley for being the winner of the Slammiversary 4-down picks. He was actually the first person in our league. I didn't do very well. I was like 23rd, so yeah, I sucked. But I did really good on predictions, and the only thing I really got wrong was the tag titles, and I should have thought that they would put the belt on Chris Sabin and not just make it go another month, given the fact that I should have thought about the fact that there's only a few pay-per-views a year. If there was a pay-per-view every month, that's what I would have went with. But since there was a pay-per-view and the next one is Bound for Glory, yeah, there's a lot of time in between. So I should have went with Sabin to win the title, but I didn't. Impact looks awesome for this week, so I don't know what they're going to be doing. Obviously, on the horizon is that new signing. We don't know what it's going to be, whether it's Rob Van Dam, or whether it is John Morrison, or whether it's someone else outlandish that we're not even thinking of. It could be Shelton Benjamin. Could be a lot of people. Chris Masters. A lot of people could possibly be. So, TNA is on the minds of a lot of people tonight, and a lot of people that normally would not have TNA on their minds. So, if you didn't watch this show, then go out, check it out. I definitely recommend. I recommend pretty much everything on this show. The six-man wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't due to the fact that there wasn't the greatest talent in the ring. It was just, like, not enough time given to the match. Abyss and Devon was okay, but it could have went a lot better. Jay Bradley and Sam Shaw just avoided it. It's not that good at all. They tried, but it wasn't the greatest match, and the crowd was definitely not into it. Check out the Knockouts, last Knockout Standing match with Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell. Check that out as soon as possible. The Dirty Heels against Bad Influence, against Chavo and Hernandez, against Storm and Gunner. Check that out. Sting and Bully Ray, check that out. And Kurt Angle and AJ Styles, check that out as well. So, and if you get a chance, watch the Ultimate X match. Chris Sabin, Suicide, and Kenny King. So, there's always that. So that was Slammiversary, and hopefully you enjoyed this recap as I destroyed my notes here and tossed them away like I always do. So, we will be talking Impact Wrestling again on Thursday night / Friday morning, depending on when I'm able to watch it. Given the fact that the show starts at 9 now, I get home from B-Dubs at 9, and then I'll watch the show, and then I'll recap it for you guys, and I'll make it available for Monday's video, well, Friday's video here on Pop. So, once again, thank you guys for watching, and if you don't watch TNA, and I can understand how everybody's been burned by the company before, you know what, give it a shot. Honestly, give it a shot. TNA is a very excellent company with a lot of tremendous talent that you probably have never heard of. So, I mean, TNA is on point, and it was a tremendous pay-per-view, so I was very happy to see it. I don't really know what to say about Extreme Rules yet. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen there. Oh, sorry, Extreme Rules. God, it's been a long week. Payback, actually, I'm looking at. I don't know what's going to happen at Payback. 3 Stages of Heck with Cena and Ryback. And supposedly CM Punk and Chris Jericho, even though it'll probably end up being Jericho against Curtis Axel, and I don't have a problem with that either. But who knows? I guess we'll find out sooner rather than later. And I think Fandango is going to win the Intercontinental Championship from Wade Barrett and The Miz in a 3-way. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So, once again, hopefully if you like this video, you do comment, you do subscribe, you do thumbs up these videos. Don't get that many thumbs up, but I get a few in there, so thank you guys for that. And, basically, tell your friends if you like these videos. Share these videos. Retweet them. Just let the world know about these recaps, because, obviously, people need to see this stuff. I mean, I'm not just some random J-Brone that doesn't know what he's talking about. I have wrestled, I have managed, I have been a part of the professional wrestling business. I do somewhat know what I'm talking about. So I'm not just some random fan out there. I was a part of the wrestling business, so I have a little bit more of an insight than some people do. So I'm not saying that makes me better than you. I'm just saying that means that I somewhat know what I'm talking about. So a little bit more than some J-Brone on the street that wouldn't know better and thinking with his heart instead of his head. So that being said, thank you guys for watching, and join me later, either later tonight or tomorrow morning, for my WWE Raw recap, where we're going to talk about the road to Payback and see where what bumps are along the way. So there's always that. So until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.